Good morning, dear listeners of ours. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Oyo State. Good morning, Ibadan City and Everett. We welcome you to another interesting edition of your breakfast show, Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, Ibadan. Before we go into details, I also want to tell us that every morning gives us two choices: to keep sleeping with our dreams or to wake up and chase them. So remember that success is not built in one giant leap, but in small, consistent steps we take daily. No matter how yesterday went, today is a fresh page, a brand new chance to write your story and to write it differently. So step out this morning with confidence, smile at challenges, turn obstacles into stepping stones, and overall, never forget the sun always rises, no matter how long the night was. So go out there today and shine, because the world is waiting for your light. With that peace, I want to say good morning once again, beautiful people of Ibadan and beyond. Remember, you're tuned in to the heartbeat of the city, the perfect choice station, I-FLIER 103.3 FM. This is Press Drive, your trusted daily companion, bringing you the freshest update, trending conversations, and the energy you need to power through your day. I am Marvelous SOBALOJU, OYEDELE, and together we're going to make this morning brighter, sharper, and filled with positive vibes. So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee or tea or pap, whichever one you prefer, and let's drive through the headlines making the rounds this morning. Good morning and welcome to Press Drive. Today is the 19th day in the month of August 2025, and we're starting the headlines from the Guardian newspaper. Here are the headlines therein. Osho local government workers allege bid to hijack council funds. Osho local government workers allege bid to hijack council funds. That's on page 7. And a presidential ticket, we are under pressure to zone. We are under pressure to zone, says ADC, and that on page 3. Overtime import cargoes worth 12.3 billion naira lying idle at port. Overtime import cargoes worth 12.3 billion naira lying idle at port. That's on page 3 of The Guardian. New licensing charges on settled port operators, 3.5 trillion naira investment. New licensing charge on settles port operators, 3.5 trillion naira investment. That you can find on page 6 of The Guardian as well. More headlines from the front page of The Guardian. APC, PDP, and NPP cake alleged fraud in Oyo, Kaduna, Kano by elections. You can find that on page 6 of The Guardian. UK, US commend Nigeria for arresting terrorist leaders. That's on page 5. My journey to throne bumpy, but guarded by God, says Ladoja. That's on page 7 of The Guardian. NCC accuses high-profile Nigerians of worsening illegal SIM registration. That's on page 5 as well. All right. Guild of Editors bemoan complex challenges facing Nigeria. That's on page 5. And our Greek minister to share insight on export-driven economy at First Bank conference. That's in business, and that's on page 24 of The Guardian. Away from The Guardian, now to The Punch. From the Punch newspaper, here are the headlines therein. Customs issue 14-day deadline to seize 905 overtime cargoes. That's on page 22. And on crisis alert, UNICEF seeks life-saving 240 billion naira for Nigeria aid project. That's on page 3. Also on page 3, Fubara eyes September 18 comeback as EBS pushes project completion. That's also on page 3 of the Punch. Alaafin lambast Oni in fiercely. Federal government most pay rise for political office holders. RMAFC says Tinubu's 1.5 million naira salary, ministers under 1 million naira pay low, launches revenue sharing review. That's on page 2 of the Punch. Global leaders begin high stakes talk to end Russia-Ukraine war. That's also on page 2 of the Punch. Pencom blacklists 7 mortgage banks over housing loans breach. That's also on page 9 of the Punch. 2 motorcyclists remanded for allegedly raping Ondo teenager. That's on page 4 of the Punch. And also Oshun Nudge battles AJF over seized fund suit transfer. Alright, that you can find on page 29 of the Punch. And now to the Daily Times. Paper, we have the headlines on the front page. Contractors besiege FCTA over 5 billion naira debt as Wike denied rewarding contracts. That's on page 2. Over 3 million displaced by flood, insecurity in Nigeria, coming from the federal government, and that's on page 5 as well. Why we are reviewing revenue sharing formula, that's coming from RMAFC, and that's on page 6. INEC pre-registers 69,376 voters online in 7 hours, and that's on page 11. Tinubu arrives Japan for TICAD 9, TSAD 9 to deepen ties, push African investment agenda. That's on page 5. 54 billion naira education spending questionable, FENRAD tells Abia government, and that's also on page 6 of the Daily Times paper. And the last newspaper I'll be checking out for this morning, this is a Daily Trust newspaper with just one headline. Alright, and the headlines is on Shokoto boat miss.
Good morning, this morning, Nigerians. How are you today? I think I met you good. I know that. Oh yeah, smile. Take a cup of coffee. And I want you to remember that you don't have to just be pensive all the time. You know, happiness is not something that is ready-made. It comes through your own actions. So if you want to be happy, you have to make yourself happy, not any other person. You are the source of your own happiness. Good morning this morning.
You are the source of your own happiness. I like that. Thank you very much for that one. Now let's go into details of some of the stories making the rounds. Don't forget to live on Facebook. On Facebook is at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. At I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Drop your comments right there. I would love to read from you this beautiful morning. And here it comes. All right. Federal government must pay rise for political office holders. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has hinted at plans to review the salaries of political office holders in Nigeria, describing current earnings as inadequate, unrealistic, and outdated in the face of rising responsibilities and economic challenges. At a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, RMAFC chairman Mohammed Shehu disclosed that President Bola Tinubu presently earns 1.5 million naira monthly, while ministers receive less than a million naira, figures that have remained unchanged since 2008. You are paying the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1.5 million naira a month with a population of over 200 million people. Everybody believes that is a joke. Okay, so those are the words of Shehu. He added, and I quote, "You cannot pay a minister less than a million naira every month since 2008 and expect him to put in his best without necessarily being involved in other things. You pay either a CBN governor or the DG 10 times more than you pay the president. That is not just right. Or you pay him, that's the head of an agency, 20 times higher than the Attorney General of the Federation. That is absolutely inappropriate." Those are the words of of Shehu this morning.
The Ramfak.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really wish I have a lot of questions, but
Please
I just
do
want your
try.
reaction.
Just go ahead.
I just want your reaction. Like, the president earns 1.5 million naira.
But every one of us knows that's a very big and white lie.
Maybe on paper he earns 1.5.
Of course, that might be his basic salary. What of all the other allowances
and other benefits?
and other benefits?
That of course is alone is
other
money.
that of National Assembly. The National Assembly takes home. The National Assembly takes home nothing less than 20 to 25 million naira per month. Each of them, not the whole of them. Each of them.
They're not saying the ministers go home with less than a million naira since 2008.
No, see, I think this deliberate lying by government is bad. It's wrong. Nigerians deserve to know what is happening with their money, and not even now, when millions of people are living below poverty line.
Some core members are earning better than even civil servants.
Yes, so you can imagine. So I don't understand where that is coming from, and it is showing one thing, that this country is designed to behave the way it is behaving, quote and unquote, from honorable, because it doesn't design the country as one that is very competitive, as one that you have to work to earn your pay, distributed in at least in a fair and equitable way. While the rich might be getting richer, the poor should be getting at least be rich too. You draw them up too. You draw them up, not putting them down. Mr. President, I know, not putting them down. Mr. President, I know of a fact that Mr. President may not go home every month with less than 30 million naira. Yes, with all the allowances, extra codes, everything. Mr. President is in Japan now. His children's school fees, even light, he has to pay for darkness. Mr. President do not pay for darkness. He has 247 lights. 247. The politicians, government people, they have 247. They don't pay for darkness, and even for the light they have, they don't pay from their money, from their pocket. Nigerians pay for them. So I think sometimes our leaders should be able to empathize with Nigerians and just stop saying some things that will make people get angry, because I think they poke our anger sometimes. They want to say, I only they begin to taunt us at all times. It's not fair, because when you just come on the faces of newspapers and everything and you begin to tell lies that is very verifiable. The statistics, let the Ramfak head, Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Commission, let him publish all the both the basic salary and the allowances these people take home, whether Nigeria will not be on fire. You see, sometimes I think these leaders should have empathy and that is one. Two, I think it is time for this country to be designed in a way that each and every one of us, when you are taking something from this country, you should be able to give back. What does politicians give back? We elected National Assembly to go and represent the ordinary people. What do they do when they get there? Some of them will even forget the allowance, everything. They do not come back to their constituents until election time. Ẹ má bínú, iṣẹ́ yín náà là ń ṣe, iṣẹ́ ìlú là ń ṣe. So they do iṣẹ́ ìlú and they forget the ìlú that they were doing the iṣẹ́. Because sometimes I think they made us to feel bad. Yes, that is what it means. They made us, they want to make us to feel bad, or they just want to show us